Is it hot in here or is it just me?
It's all of us.
Oh, baby, these are hot flashes indeed. And when you think of hot flashes, what exactly do you think about? Menopause, and all women go through it. But what exactly are the symptoms? What exactly is happening to our bodies? And when does it happen? There's so many questions, and I feel like very few answers. I need a drink to cool down. I got Candace here. Baby, what you got?
So I have an infused tea.
Ooh.
It's going to assist with some of the, menopause and the right thing to drink, because it's a storyline to say you're not supposed to drink alcohol when you're going through menopause. You're not supposed to drink sugary drinks and things like that. So we created a gin tea infused martini for you guys to enjoy.
Oh, you finding solutions to problems.
I am.
And it sparkles just like we do when we sweat from all the hot flashes. I got the girls here. Let's dive into menopause.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap?
Welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and let's dive into this topic. I've got some beautiful ladies on my couch. We've got Cindy Burbano back in the building.
Happy to be here, Caro.
Yes, happy to have you, and I'm sorry I brought you in for this.
I know, right? But we need to find out.
We need to find the details. We've got Gwinnett Evans here joining in on this fun conversation.
And I'm glad to be back, and I'm not sweating yet.
Okay. I got a fan if you need it.
Thank you very much. I just may.
Joining us for the very first time, we've got Yvette McGill, looking fabulous. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
And we have certified sex therapist Jen Reeves back.
Hola.
And we're going to be asking you all the questions.
Ask away, baby.
All right.
I'll answer what I can.
All right, so when it comes to menopause, I feel like a lot of women don't even know what it is. And I decided I was going to go around the Fox 26 newsroom to see what people said menopause was. And let's see what they had to say. All right, our first victim. What is menopause?
Oh, menopause.
Older.
Love it.
It is a great club in Miami.
Excuse me. What is menopause? Nope. Excuse me, sir. Question for you. What is menopause?
What? Something that my mom went through.
Really? Mm-hmm. The first 3 letters should tell you everything you need to know.
What is menopause?
Oh, that's when a woman reaches a certain age and then she no longer has estrogen, so she has to have it chemically induced through a pill.
Chemically induced.
I don't know if that's even a word.
Chemically induced. There's a man behind you, sir. What is menopause?
No comment. Oh, I don't want to do this.
We gotta get these people. What is menopause?
Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
Considering it's a changing of the season, I hope meteorologists could answer the question. What is menopause?
It doesn't involve a whole lot of men. I can tell you that. In the menopause. That's pretty much what I'm gonna contribute to this discussion at this point.
Smart man. What is menopause?
It's the thing that women get when they don't want to have sex anymore with their husbands.
Wow.
That's
Variety
funny.
of answers.
Wow. I'm so sorry. Nobody knows. Women or men.
Right. It is shocking.
Oh my goodness.
Or I don't want to talk about it when it's like it's this big scary thing. Oh my
Yes.
God, it's a monster.
I don't want to diss my Fox 26 family because some of them did come out, even the ones you saw on camera, and said hot flashes, women of a certain age.
Right.
And that's all they seem to know. That is the main symptom.
Well,
hot
that's what I
flashes.
thought. So I self-diagnosed premenopausal, which I guess is perimenopause.
Perimenopausal.
And I totally thought it was. I'm feeling super hot. I'm feeling cold. I'm hormonal. I'm being called, my moods are being changed. Then all of a sudden, my periods go down to a 1-day period. So I am completely sure I am going through it, right? But then everybody's like, no, it's supposed to happen later in life. You're too young. It's not supposed to happen. I go get tested. I go to the doctor, and I walk in telling my OB-GYN, I have menopause. I've hit it. This is it. And she was like, no, you don't. calm down, let's test and this and that. And she did all these things, but according to her, I'm not, but I feel so different. So I don't know who to believe, the science or my own body.
So I turn to Ms. Reeves and say, what do you say?
So there's actually 3 phases of what we kind of go through that is kind of considered in that menopausal or whatever. So perimenopause is when it's, or premenopause. So we haven't hit menopause yet. We're still having periods. But what is happening, and that usually happens in our 40s, and estrogen levels are starting to decrease, progesterone levels are decreasing, and testosterone levels are decreasing. There's some other that goes along with that, but those are the 3 main things that we're going to kind of focus on. So you start getting hot flashes during perimenopause. You start getting mood swings. Your periods tend to get lighter, but you are still having a period. Menopause is 12 months of no period. So that's when you've run out of eggs in your ovaries. That's
So
menopause.
for a year you have menopause?
Correct.
But that's it.
So but you actually can still have the symptoms for up to a decade or more afterwards, and
Did
then
she
you
say
hit
a decade?
so fun, right?
Ah!
Because you continue to
Hold
decrease.
on. Up to a decade
Yes.
in menopause?
Yes, and so
Last time I checked,
statistically,
that's 10 years, right?
Right, 10 years.
Wow.
And just imagine if you've gone through a hysterectomy, so you don't even have cycles anymore. And that's
Right.
where I am. So I still have my ovaries, went through a hysterectomy, but I knew something was going on. Number one, I could not sleep throughout the night. I was constantly waking up,
Yeah.
constantly just waking up all night long, sleeping like 3 hours a night. And I said, I knew something was going on. You know, I'm a girly girl. I like to look cute. And I would get a hot flash, but I would never sweat. One day, sweat just popped out and my shirt got wet right here. I said, oh no, I can't be cute with sweat. I immediately got on my chart and made me an appointment for the OB-GYN. Did the test, I was perimenopausal. Luckily, I got a patch and it took away all of the symptoms except I still cannot sleep all night.
Wow.
I would feel it it's like a warm little breeze that would start here and it would just kind of go off my shoulders. I was at work one day, the very first time I felt it, and a warm little breeze just came over my head and it just went, and I'm like, wait a minute. Something is going on.
Hold on, there's not a vet in front of me.
Wait, it happened
top of
again, and one of my employees was in the office, and I said, wait, I think I have a hot flash. Let's wait and see. So she's standing there next to me, and she's looking. I said, I think I'm having a hot flash. And lo and behold, you felt it, and it was like a little warm breeze just bounced off my shoulders. And I said, I knew it, and then coupled that with not being able to sleep.
Oh, wow.
And just having some memory. You know, it got to the point where I couldn't remember everything.
Oh,
And
no,
I said,
hold on.
wait,
I have so many questions. All right, listen. I'm going to need y'all to go watch these commercials. Sit right there. And if you're going through a hot flash, listen, we're with you, okay? We are here with you. You stay right there. We'll be right back.
You should buy a goat. Is overrated. Did you change the litter box? You're pretty. No, you're fat. Where did the murder hornets go? Where's your birth certificate? Chalupas. My left hurts. Humans are garbage. How often do normal people wash their sheets? Why?
The perimenopause brain. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about menopause here on the Nightcap. I've got Cindy, we've got Gwinnett, we've got Yvette, and sex therapist Jen Reeves. I felt like that brain was my normal brain.
that sounded like ADHD.
That's literally what I go through.
I'm curious about that. Yeah.
I'm prescribed for because that's how my brain operates.
Right.
So that's not just perimenopause.
I don't think that that's just perimenopause, but I can see like where as you get a little bit older and your brain just starts to go in the spiral. But women's brains in general, we have spaghetti brains. Everything's linked to each other and it's all this jump of mess of stuff. Yeah, so we already have that in and of itself. So I don't know. I've never seen it quite like that as like that's just perimenopause. I think that's just women or
That's just women. Well, I guess my biggest issue around menopause is that, you know, going to my OB-GYN, I haven't had the conversation yet. I'm learning more by scrolling through TikTok,
Right.
by Googling
Exactly.
by myself than
Yeah.
the conversations. It's like maybe if you get comfortable enough with a girlfriend, you're like, hey, have you been feeling hot lately? Like, have you gone through menopause? It's also like a taboo topic. Like, you don't want to admit that you're going through the menopause.
Right.
But it's a reality we're all going to face at some point in time.
Right.
Yes.
I was telling
God willing, we
everybody.
live long enough.
You were telling everybody.
She's like, hot flash. Because I
Yeah.
had already looked it up, so I knew I was having some of those symptoms. So I was telling everybody, I think I'm going through menopause. Are you experiencing this? Are you experiencing that? So I was doing some of that. So I was open about it.
That's one of the best
It
way
was
to
even
go.
to the
Why
point
do
where I
we
had my
have to be
boyfriend
quiet
looking up.
about it, though? Like, why are we calling it the change? It's menopause. It's something that we all go through. It's like being hush hush. Oh, my Aunt Flo's come to town. It's your period. Like, why do we have to be so secretive?
We don't,
know.
baby.
I'm
That's
not
why we
secretive.
talking about it
Right.
on TV right now.
Yeah.
But I do think that I was punished because I had a hysterectomy in 2004. So I would brag when my daughters would ask about pads. I'm like, what is that? Can you describe that to me? Or they would say, Mom, do you have something at home? And I'm like, why would I have that? Like, so sometimes I think I'm getting doubly punished with the hot flashes and everything else because of me teasing everybody else about not having a period for so long.
So are you going through menopause right now? Yvette?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
somebody, when I was going around asking questions, they were like, oh, well, you can fix it by getting a hysterectomy. But absolutely not.
No,
Y'all's faces is like,
no,
absolutely.
no.
I have a question because, so I was told, and I don't know if you've heard this too, that, you know, like when you get your period is usually when your mom got her period. And so when your mom started having, like going through menopause is when you're going to go through a menopause. And my mom had the hysterectomy at a young age. So she says, she claims she never went through menopause. Like, I didn't feel anything. I was fine. I didn't go through the hot flashes. So I have nowhere to compare to know if what age I'm supposed to go through it. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm self-diagnosing, and that's why I'm telling myself, like, yeah, no, this must be it. Oh, it's coming. Oh, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
and but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, no, but we were talking about that nobody really tells you.
Nobody really tells you, and then it also does depend with hysterectomies whether or not your ovaries are intact or whether or they take your ovaries. You will still often have like hot flashes and a lot of menopausal symptoms if you still have your ovaries during the hysterectomy. But if they do a complete hysterectomy and take everything, then yeah. And so she went through medically induced menopause because menopause is not about the symptoms. Menopause is you no longer have periods. So it's a medically induced menopause when you have a hysterectomy before you've actually hit menopause.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, as women, we're only born with a finite number of eggs.
Exactly.
Right? So once those eggs are out, that's when we hit menopause. So if you started earlier, you're depleting your egg cachet,
Count.
if you will, like earlier in life. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So does birth control affect?
No, because you're still releasing an egg. All birth control,
true.
like all birth control does is regulates your progesterone and estrogen levels by and large, so that you're regular and whatnot. So it's
It doesn't really
Yeah.
affect it at all.
doesn't really affect it if you're going to have at what age you're going to go through perimenopause, menopause, and then postmenopause.
I really hope that men are listening because I feel like they need to understand us and like, oh, she's bipolar. No, I'm
No.
premenopausal, perimenopause.
Right.
Yeah.
Or she's going through this. Like, they also need to, if we don't understand as women, how can we expect our men to get it either?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I like
Well-
what one of the men that she interviewed or tried to interview said men on pause.
yes, it is.
That's exactly like
Yes, we're
I need
putting
you
you
to
on
pause.
pause.
I need you to
Yeah.
understand that I'm going through this.
Yeah.
I've
Right.
literally started touching my husband and I like, do you feel my hands are hot? And so I need you to know that this is real. Like, I'm not just saying this because I don't want to have sex. Like, this is real.
Right.
Like,
it's
this
too
is how I'm
hot.
feeling.
Right.
It's too hot for me to exist right now. So definitely not on
Yes,
top of
because
you
the
or
thought
under
is
you.
still
Right.
there.
And it's not the
thought
right,
is still
right
there.
type of hot. It's not the right type of hot.
It's not.
Right, it's not because your testosterone levels go down.
Well,
or
it's
they
not in the right place.
have
Let
a
me just
hot
say
flash
that.
in the middle of sex. We were talking about this earlier. In the
Yes.
middle of sex, having a hot flash, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Get the off me!" And the man is like, "What did I do? Did I do something wrong?" No, I'm just hot, and I cannot have your body on me anymore because I am burning up. So you can have a hot flash in the middle of sex, and I think it freaks women and men out because what is going on with me,
It's
and all of a
too
sudden
hot.
you're just
Too
pushing
much
them off.
heat.
Well, for me, I
Yes.
didn't even say anything. Like, I was like this, like just inside, like too ashamed to even say, like, I'm having a hot flash. I just rolled with it, just like, Lord, don't let me die in the process. Yeah, because I can also say I'm not at that phase where I don't want to. Like, everything in me up here wants to.
Right.
I still would want
Oh
to
no, hold
all
on. We're
the
gonna
time.
dive into that, baby,
But,
because I
yeah.
read some things about sex during menopause. We gonna talk about it coming up next. You stay right there. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about the heat of menopause and how exciting and thrilling that is. We've got Cindy, Gwinnett, Yvette, and Jen Reeves. All right, we started to talk about sex.
Yeah.
And what we've been seeing, me and my producer Anna, is that some women end up getting an increase in libido. They end up loving sex after or during menopause. Is this something you guys have heard about?
I haven't heard about it, but I've experienced it. Like, I mean, like I said, everything in me wants to still be like I'm 20 years old. I want to still all the time. But the tiredness, I'm so tired until I'm like the thought, like when I get in the shower, the thought is on my mind, heavy on my mind. But by the time I make it to the bed, I'm like, yeah, try again tomorrow. Yeah, try
Next
again
time,
tomorrow.
join me in the cold shower. We'll do a little something, something.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are times when you feel like a decrease in your libido. In your mind, like Yvette was saying, you really want to in your mind, but your body, it's like your mind is
Like, I
fighting
need you
your
to
body.
cooperate, like work with me.
I really
be my
was going to quote
friend.
R. Kelly, but
I won't do
that. My mind, y'all know what I was going to say.
My body.
Yep, but the opposite.
Yes,
but the opposite. Okay, well, damn. I feel like there's no one cookie cutter answer for
Not at
any
all.
women.
There's
Except for
not.
the hot flash.
Yeah,
Is the hot flash like the consensus?
I think that's kind of universal.
That is
I
universal.
think that's universal.
But then we live in
Everything's
Houston.
different. Yeah.
Right, so it's like, is it Houston or is it?
Is it really Houston? I don't remember this happening in
I
North
can be
Carolina.
I can be in my truck. I can be at work. I can be anywhere,
Yeah.
and you feel it. My air
Even
at
in the
home. We
winter.
were talking earlier.
Yes.
My air might be on 72, 73, and I'm still feeling warm. And my mom's downstairs freezing. I can say I'm 55 now. I can say it started when I was about 49, 50. That's when I really started noticing
perimenopause.
things. Right. That's when I really started noticing things happening. Now I did notice in my late 40s, I started getting emotional really easy. It didn't have to be anything going on, and I would get very emotional, be ready to cry at the drop of a dime.
And see, I didn't think that that was menopause. I thought that some other things that were going on in my life, and I'm a crybaby anyway. I look at the commercial and I cry.
really
So
easy.
I just kind of
Like you saying that, like I want to cry with you.
And
Yeah.
And it would come out of nowhere. And I can remember asking some of my friends at church, I'll never forget, I'll say, oh, why am I starting to just cry really? And she's like, it could be the early signs of menopause. And so I started just really monitoring different things that was happening with me. And
that's
so,
when you-
Yeah, the mood swings.
I'm telling you, but when that sweat came and made my shirt wet, I was like,
That's
that's not
when
cute.
I'm going
That's
to the
not
doctor.
cute.
Okay, so Jen.
Yes.
We spoke about perimenopause
Yes.
and menopause.
Yes.
But there's also postmenopause.
So postmenopause is the glory days. That's what we want to get to.
Oh,
so
okay, so we're good.
postmenopause.
Period.
When does that come?
So it's kind of interesting because postmenopause is considered once you've gone an entire year without a period, you're in postmenopausal. So you can still have those hot flashes. You can still have a lot of the mood swings and symptoms. And that lasts, like I said, for about a decade. And you're in postmenopause there. But around the ages of 65, 70 is when our testosterone levels start to go back up, and where our sex drives are going to skyrocket. Because most
At 70?
women,
wow.
65 to 70. So that's there's. I'll tell you,
Dad.
Yes.
no wonder.
What is happening?
In aftercare facilities, you will see a high number of STIs because they are just getting it on like
Dear
Donkey
Lord.
Kong.
And
there
they're
a lot
not
of
getting
times.
pregnant.
They're not getting pregnant.
Girl, we need a drink. So
Yes,
I'm going to head by the bar.
yes,
Cheers
yes.
to women.
Cheers.
We are some badasses to go
Yes.
through all the we go through. All right, coming up next, I'm heading behind the bar because me and Candace are going to shake something up. All right, we got to cool down. You stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. I'm behind the bar because I needed to cool down after all that talk about menopause. And I've got Candace Bradley here. She is the owner of Mixing Perfect Events. And you're here to do what, baby?
Back that glass up.
Yes. All right, and now you realize that we needed to get even cooler. So we're involving a lot of ice.
See, right. So I'm going to make a frozen winery. So we did some research, and then according to some of the research, white wine is a perfect solution for having an alcoholic beverage during menopause. So we did that, and also beets. So
Beets, which is good for you.
very good. And then so we enhanced it with a little dragon fruit. That's just to give it a little color, a little pop, a little island feel, you know, to go with a whole frozen cocktail. So here, we're gonna make this here. We have a pineapple Stella white wine.
Okay, so
Little bit of
you've
that.
also got that tropical flavor going into
Right,
it.
right. We're gonna do some agave. That is a natural sweetener.
And you're already pre-pouring some in there, so.
Right, yeah. So enough to make it.
Yes.
a little bit of beet juice. And then we have the fresh dragon fruit. And we're going to blend.
All right. Blend it up.
Give it a second. Okay, we got a good texture.
All right.
All right, so here we go.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, look at them. Oh, they ready to cool down as well. All right, I'm gonna take my first sip right
Okay,
here.
well-
Okay.
Let's make sure.
Oh, I love it. All right, start pouring it up for these ladies.
Okay, I sure
Beautiful
will.
garnish too.
So here's
All
a
right.
pineapple just to remind you of what you're drinking as well, too.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Candace,
Oh,
for
no
Mixing Perfect
worries.
Events. If you want the recipes, you gotta go check them out. All right, if you're going through menopause or your partner's going through menopause, give them some
You're welcome.
goddamn
It's a straw over
grace,
here, too.
okay? And have patience with yourself. Give yourself some grace too. All right, cheers to you. We'll see you guys next time. All right, pour some up for these ladies.
Okay.
We've got every episode of The Nightcap, and we can go for hours. Download the Fox Local app on any of the following smart TV platforms and get in on the fun.